Welcome to Kind of Adulting. My name is Simone, and I'm joined by my two friends, Jordan and Elise. We've known each other since middle school, high school-ish, and we're taking on our early 20s together. In this podcast, we hope to share our daily challenges, funny stories, and overall experiences living in big cities and taking on post-grad life. Hey guys! No intro this week, as this episode goes a little bit longer than normal, but this is a special episode where we're featuring some guests and we're doing Entanglements Part 2. So stay tuned for some juicy conversation. As promised, we are coming to you live with our first featured guest of the season. Woo!
Yes!
Happy to be here.
So we wanted to do a part 2 of the We've Two Been Entangled episode. But we wanted to add some guys to this episode because we felt like it would show a more well-rounded view of like dating in your 20s, and having both perspectives could be pretty useful to some of y'all who really need help. So we felt like we really wanted to bring on two of Elise and I's close guy friends. We've known them for a few years now, and they are pretty successful, and are young guys in the city doing the thing. So, I think they can provide a really good perspective to everyone. So can you guys introduce yourselves, provide just a quick little brief, what school you went to, where you live, etc.
All right, so I guess I'll kick it off. All right, so my name is Josh Moore. I went to Hampton University. I'm about to start a role, and I graduated in May. So I'm about to start a role in Orlando, Florida for Pepsi as an in-market operations manager.
With the MBA, don't forget that.
Oh, yeah, with the MBA.
Josh Moore, MBA.
Moving to Orlando.
Nah, don't gas me.
And should we say how long we've been like adulting, or should we like wait for a little?
Yeah, I guess technically I figured since Josh just graduated.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a puppy out here.
Yeah.
So I'm just starting to adult. Yeah.
That's an amazing analogy. Okay, perfect. So I'll go next. My name is Chris Stevens. I just graduated last May. So not even just, I feel like it's happened so fast, but I graduated May 2019 from St. John's University in New York City. And I currently still live in New York City. The current role that I'm in now is consulting, so management consulting for a firm out here. And it's been great. I've been here since January. And I guess I've kind of been adulting, I guess, for about maybe under a year now. And so it's definitely been a learning experience for sure.
Thanks for introducing yourselves. So we're really excited to have you. I guess to start off our discussion today, Josh, you're a little fresh to this life. Chris, you've been out here for a minute, but I feel like we can still kind of include a little bit of college. We were a little bit of adults back then, like we had apartments and stuff. How has dating been for everyone, but specifically you two, within the last year or two of you really being an adult?
Josh, you want to go first? Oh, you want me to go first? How has dating been? I think dating after college is it's a sport. I think you definitely, it's a sport where like you can get tired of maybe meeting the not so right people, and feeling like your time's wasted. But for me, I think I always try to look at the positives of like, if it was a negative date or a negative situation, I'm like, all right, I'm walking out of here learning what I don't want in a woman, or what are like key signs that I look for. But I think dating, it's worked out for me, to be honest. And so I don't know, it's so up in the air, you know what I mean? But I'll let Josh go.
Come on, maturity.
Yeah, but
that was a very mature response.
Chris, a grown man.
Right.
But yeah, I'll kind of piggyback off of what Chris was saying. I kind of agree with what he was saying. So dating right now, especially while you're young, I feel like it's a time for you to figure out like what you like and what you don't like in a partner, right? So this is kind of that time to be trial and error, because when you get older, you're not really trying to figure out what you like. So when you find what you like, it's like, and so you can take that as an opportunity and then grow with that person. So dating for me has been good in the past. I wouldn't say I've been having any bad dating experiences. Everything's been a lesson. Everything's been good. I actually just recently got out of a relationship, not because anything bad happened, but I just felt like it wasn't necessarily the right situation for me at the time, especially as I started this new role. So I'm trying to kind of prioritize myself, set myself up right now. But so I haven't really experienced the adulting dating yet. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing. But so right now I just have that college experience.
Well, Josh, that's funny. It's funny that you say you look forward to adult dating, because guys better have the money. Because I'm not going on any date and we split in checks for the first date. I mean, Simone and Jordan are kind of weak in that, so they'll probably give you some money on a first date. But
First of all, let's
but that's deep though, because for real, yeah, because I see where you're coming from. So yeah, so personally with me, like, okay, I'll pay. Well, I see what part of what you're coming from.
Right,
so,
right. Not all of
it. Because personally for me, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna pay for the first couple of dates, right? But at the same time, where it's like, I want to make sure that you like me, but you gotta make sure I like you too. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking for a relationship, not necessarily a sponsorship. So it's like, I think it's attractive.
Exactly.
You gotta trademark that one. You gotta trademark that one.
But I think it's attractive when a woman, she can, like, she's not necessarily. I'm not saying like you are financially dependent just because the guy's paying for everything, but where she spoils her man too. Because in a relationship, it's two equal people coming together. So that's my stance on that. So I see where you're coming from, but I can't 100% agree.
That is not what Jordan and I actually said. I think part of it is what Josh and Chris were saying is, like, in this age, I feel like I wouldn't say we're necessarily dating for marriage, but at the same time, like, when you're investing in someone, like, you know, you're not going to, I guess, hold things on longer than they need to go. Like, if you're not getting anything out of someone, you're probably going to cut them off, because it's like, we're at that age where it's like, what's the point? And part of that is when you are dating, you do have to both show interest. So, like, what Jordan and I were saying is, yes, if we're dating someone and they take us on multiple dates, like, at some point we don't mind treating or, you know, inviting them out somewhere. And I feel like that's how you can show that you are equally interested in that person the same way they are, you know, you. So I feel like our words got twisted a little bit, you know, to fit a certain idea here. A narrative at least, but that's okay. So I'm here to clarify.
Wait, so Elise, if you meet a guy, you guys are connecting on an emotional level, physical level, all that, but he not paying for everything that you want to do?
No, I would say I do at some point. Like, it's not paying for dates. Okay, I probably had this conversation prior. It depends, but I would say I probably wait about 3 or 4 dates before I actually pay for the date. But if I'm not paying for dates, like, I'll do other things. Like, I will remember that, like, you like this type of candy, or like if I order food and like I order food that I know you'll like. Josh, that's not a good idea. But I just feel like small things like that in the beginning, because as a female, as a woman, I should say, I'm grown, very grown now. I think dating as an adult is different, because if you are going on dates per se, it's more the guy and kind of like leading the initiative. And I feel like when a guy starts his intentions, it's like really good to see what I want to invest into it. Because if you're like off rip, it's 2 days and you're just kind of like lackluster, I'm just going to start talking to other guys at the same time. But yeah, but that goes into our next question, which is the primary question of our first episode, which is, what's the difference between talking versus dating?
Wait, can I ask a quick question before we do that? So,
yes,
Josh and Chris, do y'all pay for every first date, or?
I personally do pay for every first date, but at the same time, I'm not about to pay for every date that we go on.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me.
That's fine though. I mean, ain't nobody trying to go on a first date and ask to go Dutch.
That's where I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
That's odd, especially if you ask me out. I was gonna add to that last point, like, for me, if I'm asking someone to go somewhere, I'm not gonna expect them to pay. So
that's very true.
That's just how I am. You know, like, whether it's like with friends or something like that, like, I'm not gonna ask you to go out of your way and, like, you know, me you to pay the full thing, or pay your piece, especially if it's a date. So
is that just when you start talking to someone, or so say like, is that the same way for if you're actually dating someone?
So remember the 3 to 4 date rule, okay. But then after that, in general, yeah, like if I'm dating someone or if I'm interested in someone, like I'm not going to be like, oh, let's go ice skating. And then I'm like, okay, where's your credit card at? Because I asked you, like I initiated. I think that's really like whack. And like Elise said, we are grown, so we should be able to fit a little bit of that bill. Like we all.
Yeah. But wait. Talk about talking. What's the difference between talking versus dating for you guys? Like at what point, what constitutes talking to somebody, a girl, and what constitutes dating someone?
I think for me, because I was thinking about this when I listened to y'all last episode and stuff like that, and y'all were talking about this.
Dropping the citation.
Gotta support. He gonna let
y'all know.
I'm one of the listeners. But I think for me, and it's probably not for a lot of people, but I think dating comes before talking, in my opinion. I think for it to work or for it to be successful, and I talk about from my own situation because I'm like opposite of Josh. Like I'm in a relationship now and it just started, but we started dating like last summer, so we were dating at first. And so the reason I say that comes first is because I feel like when you're on dates, you get to know somebody kind of in person. You get to know if there's somebody you really want to invest your time in, because I feel like talking is serious invested time. Like I think that's waking up, texting this person on a daily basis, where dating could be you guys talk every other day, but you may see each other on a date, maybe that every Friday or every other weekend or something like that. Like I just feel like that dating is your first intro to get to knowing who that person is, and talking is more invested time. And like I feel like it's okay. Like when I hear people say, "Oh, I'm dating," multiple people, I feel like that doesn't get a crazy look where somebody's like, "I'm talking to multiple people." I think when you hear somebody say, "I'm talking to multiple people," then that's like, "Whoa, like what are you doing?" Like that's mad time invested. You're asking 5 girls how their day was, and you really have to be invested in those conversations. You know what I mean? Where if you're dating, like I can just talk to you when I'm on the date with you and stuff like that. So for me, I feel like it's a little opposite, which comes first. But
I really like that perspective, Chris. Like I didn't think of it that way. I feel like you're going more towards like the definition of the words in a way.
Maybe.
But I get what you're saying. Like when people are saying they're dating multiple people, you're like, oh, okay, you're just going on dates. But also talking doesn't really weigh that doesn't have really much significance to me. So I guess that's my only difference there. But I like that perspective.
Yeah, see, that's interesting that you get perspective, Chris. Because for me, it's kind of the opposite. Like, so like when I'm talking to someone, that's kind of just me kind of getting to know that person. So yeah, just starting to communicate with them, maybe starting to hang out a little bit. But for me, like I kind of take dating seriously. So you'll know if we're dating. Like we'll have the conversation where it's like, okay, I want you to be my girl. Like we're like, what I'm saying, you're my girlfriend now, stuff like that. And that's just for me personally, you feel what I'm saying? But so the talking stage can be kind of iffy though, depending on who you're talking to, what y'all got going on. Cause like it's like for me, like if I'm talking to someone, after a while, like say we're talking for like a couple weeks or like a month or so. Oh, it was something funny. say we're talking for a couple weeks or like a month or something like that. At that point, I feel like when you're talking to someone, it's important to set boundaries where it's like, okay, we're only talking to each other right now. You feel what I'm saying? Like we're only rocking with each other, and at the same time, like if you're talking to someone for a while, like you shouldn't necessarily be talking to other people, in my opinion. Like, cause we both kind of invested a lot of time together, and I feel like kind of in our generation right now, it's kind of like a lot of stuff going on with that. But I feel like if you set boundaries, then the talking stage should go smooth, and then ultimately lead into us dating. But you'll know when the switch happens.
But I feel like that's why I'm like, you have to date first, because you talked about how the talking stage is so important and how like people should be invested and be like, oh, I'm not talking to anybody else. But is it where like in the talking stage, should that one merge with date? So like if you're talking, you should be dating, whereas if you're dating, you don't have to be talking.
Kind of.
Is that
I feel like you should be going out on dates. That don't necessarily mean that you're dating, in my opinion. Like you should be going out on dates. But I have a question. Like Like, cause you trying to get to know someone. But for me personally, like dating is okay. This is my girlfriend. That's what I consider dating. So it's really
and I don't consider that dating.
That's the same for me because like
wait.
if I say to my parents I'm dating someone, they assume I'm in a relationship. Yeah, like that's how they think. So that's kind of how I am with that.
It just depends on your definition. What's up, Belief?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Lisa. Yeah.
I think dating is not exclusive. I think there's talking, dating, then being in a relationship. So like I can be going on multiple dates with multiple guys, right? Because it's like
you can. I agree.
When I came to DC, like I focused on like a very adult thing. Like my friends and I, we do this. But when we moved to DC, I didn't really date a lot in college, and also living in a big city, I want to like explore. Like, I want to have fun, right? And so if a guy asks me on a date, I think it's like it could be a one-off date. It could be like something more. But me going to dinner with you or us going to like a show or something can be very one-off and like an experience. Like I could just be dating because I want to figure out what I like and also have these cool experiences.
That's valid.
But I feel like talking is like, okay, because it's more like I'm getting to know you. Like I'm getting to know about like the things that drive you, the things that really like make you you. But I think usually talking prior to adulthood, where you would talk first, like you would text back and forth first, and then y'all would go on a date because boys are cheap.
That's true.
And boys would be like, I want to see if you cool before I take you out in public, right? But I feel like now in adulthood, guys ask you out on dates first, like, hey, let's go get drinks, and then y'all talk. Because it's like, okay, like I met you in person, you're not gonna kill me in my sleep, you're not you're not too crazy or weird, because y'all know I'm a little off.
Just a little.
And
right, so they should have the concern about you.
Right, exactly.
Well, we can talk about my dating history at a different time, but then I'm thinking about this one boy who went on a date with me, and then he never asked me on another date. And I like looking back on it, I was kind of crazy, and I was late. But moving on.
But were you hurt? Were you hurt when you guys didn't go on another date?
No, because he was too tall for me. He was way too tall.
Okay, well that's another situation. At least you're like 5'1".
Yeah,
like
and
that.
also
I feel like
the listeners.
The
listeners don't know that you're 5 feet.
Okay, well, moving back to what I was saying.
Now, right.
I think that you can going on a date, and now that I'm older, I think you go on a date first, and then you're okay. You like solidify that they're okay, and then y'all talk, get to know each other.
Yeah,
that's my perspective.
See, I think that
but that first initial interaction, like, okay, let's go get drinks, let's go to happy hour, let's go get food. Like, I don't know. Maybe for me, I just figure I count that as like, I don't count that as talking. I don't count that as dating. That's kind of like a prelude to us starting to get to know each other for me. So it's like
different levels of dating. Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I think I'm on this. I think it's like Jordan, Josh, and I. But like, because for me, I think that talking and dating should start to
intertwine.
Because, like Josh said, if I'm talking to someone, I truly feel like first of all, if you're interested in me, we're not about to be talking like in that traditional talking phase for a long time.
What's the time?
Like, there's no reason. So there's no reason I should be talking to you for like a week and you haven't tried to hang out with me. Serious. And like in all seriousness, like, because if you're really that interested, you should try to see me in person.
Yeah.
And then I think too, I don't have the energy to talk to multiple people. And by talk, I mean, I don't have the energy to be making small talk, trying to figure out how your breakfast tasted this morning and if you slept well last night. I can't do that with multiple people. I do not.
And what your childhood problems are.
Yeah. And so the thing is, if I'm really interested in you, I probably will like cut people off, not on purpose, but it's just like those people are like, I'm losing interest, right? Yeah. So I feel like
I agree.
There does become a point, yes, you have to have the conversation, but there does become a point where it's like, okay, you really should only be talking to me like that. Like, you really shouldn't be texting all these girls good morning. I'm not like
that's young, so
a little puzzle piece. I'm not a little puzzle piece you picking up to, like, let's figure this out. So I feel like they do become intertwined, especially if we're going on dates as we're, talking. Like, it should only be intensifying.
So when you say, go ahead. Yeah,
like,
you go. Because you haven't spoken yet, my bad.
I feel like I don't even care if like you got my number like in person or whatever. I need like that first like week and a half to make sure like you're not crazy. Like that's where I need for myself. Like I need to look up your name. I need to know where you're from. If somebody knows you already, like that's just because I'm a little scary. But after that point, like I'm not gonna be texting you all the time. Like we need to either link up. I'm not trying to be a pen pal.
Mm-mm.
Like link up or what? Like
so do y'all
date? Like
do y'all have like the most of your dates from like in-person interactions, or like do you guys use dating apps? We already know Jordan, Elise, and I do use dating apps, but I don't know about you guys or like what you've used before.
So I personally have not used a dating app, but so for me, I like that personal interaction, whether we have like a kickback, like a happy hour or something, just so you can gauge a person's personality. So if y'all strike conversation right there, that's probably the best place for me to start, I guess, communicating with someone. So I haven't yet used the dating apps, but that's just me.
Maybe you need more time.
Yeah, I also haven't been in this adult world yet, so we gonna see.
Yeah.
I must say, yeah, bro, the pandemic is gonna change that for you for sure. But I think for me, like I said, me and my girl, we started talking or started dating last summer, and so but we actually like I DM'd her, like I slid in her DMs. So even though we went to
DMs
college,
too, for sure.
right? That's what I'm saying. The DMs be working. At least they worked for me for this time, thank God. And so we went to college together, but we didn't interact in college like at all. Like our friend circles knew each other, but we never really crossed paths like that. And then like I slid in her DM one time on like some funny, like a funny joke or something like that, and it just like played into a little more, and then that played into us going to get drinks. And I think that just like brought me back to like that was our like first date situation before we were even like texting. We met and got drinks first and like got food and stuff like that. And so we went on a few more dates after that, then considered ourselves talking. But I haven't tried the dating apps, but I think just because I've been, in a relationship and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're real popular.
I feel like the pandemic made them truly popular because that's people's go-to. You know what I mean? Like even if people don't want to see somebody, they just want somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? Because we've all been in isolation.
And
mine's been deactivated for about
3
5
weeks.
months.
No,
it's been deactivated for a while.
Yeah,
it's been a long
So wait,
time.
which dating apps do y'all use?
Yeah, which ones are good? What's the best one?
I've only gone on dates off of Hinge.
Hinge, what is that?
Oh no, I did Tinder and I tried Hinge. I didn't like Hinge.
What's the difference?
Hinge is like supposed to be connecting with people from an extended network. So like someone that knows someone that someone knows that someone else knows that someone else knows and knows you, but like doesn't know you, and someone else like that.
So they would also have to be on Hinge. Like how do they connect the people? Like those people also have to be on Hinge?
Yes.
I guess some type of algorithm. I don't know.
Hinge, yeah, but
it's Big Brother.
Okay.
Big Brother.
That's the government right there.
Josh, we have an online dating episode. I want to move on to our next question though, which is, how has dating or talking changed for you guys since graduating college? Like, how do you feel you have to deal with girls differently now that we're no longer in school? And I want Jordan to first answer that question first, and then have the guys answer.
Why me?
Because I feel like you went to like Howard in the city. It's probably more stuff to do, like date wise.
Yeah, I mean, it was different because like once you graduate, it's like all your friends are gone. Like your network is kind of gone. So it's just like, oh wow, like I have to, talk to other people outside of just my comfort zone, which is like my school. So it was different that way. And I was in a relationship with somebody from my job. I would highly do not do that. Like, learn from me. Do not do that. It's just messy. But it was just kind of like all I did was go to work. Like I was a workaholic for real before the pandemic. So it was just like I didn't meet other people outside of like my coworkers and stuff. So it was just the next best thing. So it was just like, yeah. But after college, like I still trying to find friends. Like even though a lot of people stayed in DC, it's still a lot different trying to make friends when you're not dependent on seeing the same type of people every day.
Right.
So,
and I think before I let the guys answer, I think about college dating, because I didn't really date in college. I saw college relationships is that I feel there's a little bit less effort needed, right? Like you guys can go to like the dining hall. Y'all could like go to like a free movie night together. Y'all could like just link up in y'all's like dorms, right? And like when you're grown, first, like no one really is gonna want to link with you off rip, like in your house. Like people all the time. Some people do, but I think there's more effort, and also it's not like a small. I think in college you probably know someone that knows that person, right? So you can say, "Hey, so and so, is this person crazy?" Because eventually you know someone that knows that person. But in the real world, you can meet strangers at a bar that ask you to go to like dinner or get drinks, and you may not be able to like verify them because y'all may not have mutuals.
That's why you need that 2 weeks.
I'd be bored.
Something gonna shake on Google.
I go on dates with strangers because real life, I don't Google people before I go on dates with them. Like I do no research, and because I feel like let's keep it interesting. Like if you're gonna try to attack me, I got a taser. Also, I think I can run pretty fast. And also,
just live on the edge. Just live outside. That sounds like a lifetime.
I wish everyone could see our faces right now.
That sounds like a lifetime special.
Yo, exactly. She's gonna end up on a Law and Order episode.
He asked me,
What was that show? What was that show on Insecure? Finding
who was it? It was SZA playing like
like finding
Latoya.
We about to be finding Elise out here. She'll be running these DC streets trying to get away from these crazy.
What kind of research do y'all be doing on guys?
Wait, Josh, can you answer the first?
I look up their LinkedIn.
Elise want to finish her question. And then we gotta answer.
Oh, you're right.
How has talking and dating changed from college? Like how it was in college to how you think it is or how it is now being out of college?
Josh, you want to go first or you want me to go?
I mean, I'll go first, but I don't really have too much experience, be it, you know what I'm saying? Like I just graduated and stuff like that.
True.
But I will say like so right now I'm in Richmond, right? But I'm about to move to Orlando where I don't know anyone. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't really speak towards how it's changed, but I definitely can relate to what y'all are saying about like how do you meet people out here? Like where do you go to meet people, especially with all this corona stuff going on? Where how do you like Jordan was saying, how do you go about meeting friends? So that's definitely something interesting to talk about, something to keep in mind as like you move to new places. It's like how do you do that?
Yeah. I think just for going on the question, I think what Elise was saying was all valid for like in college dating. Like it's easy to go to the dining hall, a basketball game, like a movie night, that's all free. I think dating has definitely changed outside of college. And I just, have to speak to my relationship, of course. And so since we started dating in the summer and I had graduated that May, it was a new world for me. And I feel like dating changes kind of in two ways. And at first it changes like in the conversation. So like in college, I feel like it's easy to have surface level conversations on a few dates and like not quote unquote get in trouble for it, or like girls will still be interested, you know what I mean? Because like you're in college, like what does she really expect? But I feel like once you graduate, your mindset just has to go to like, I call it like a billionaire mindset. Even if you don't have billions, like girls want to know that you have some type of plan, that you're on some type of track, like that you're actually doing something with your life, yeah, guys too, like I definitely ask those questions, no doubt. And so I feel like conversation changes in that manner where like the first date might be like an interview, like almost like an interview, but like obviously in a conversation way.
Oh, y'all got standards.
Girls are definitely
I'm just laughing because
they're definitely checking boxes.
Chris really does.
Like knowing Chris, this is such a Chris.
This is positive. Yeah, this is it.
But that's real though. Like that's real. That's what I'm
saying. Chris is about to be our CEO.
Right.
This is what you gotta do. Like,
no, you absolutely.
Girls be in there breaking their mind, checking their boxes. Like, oh, all right. I'm not saying he got a lot of money, but he
got
a
plan
salary. Yeah, he got a salary. He got a 401k. He got health benefits.
It got $5 in it, but it moving.
It's okay, right?
But as a guy, like if you're trying to build, then the girl has to bring something too. That's why you gotta ask those questions. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And then so the second part, just I'll let you get back. And I think the type of date changes. So like the conversation changes, but I think just the type of date where like once I graduated, I was like more like you want to go to happy hour or something like that. You want to do something, I don't know, something that's just more in the city, more in the move or around what's happening. Not so like let's go down the street to like a restaurant that all college students go to because it's right down the street. I think your type of date has to change. Like whether it's like mini golf or skating or or just something like, something different, not just like a dinner and a movie thing, because that's like that gets old fast. So I think those two things
It
change
does,
when you
and
graduate.
definitely. And I think too, like when you're in college, I feel like you settle a little bit more for like the just casual throw
Yeah.
around type of date. And it's not a date, right? Like the Netflix and chilling and stuff like that. And now that we're older, it's like literally first, like I need initiative. Like don't be texting me talking about like you're interested in all this stuff. Like where's the date? Like where are we going? Things like that. Like I look for that because I'm like, are you taking the initiative here? Like what, especially when it's like the first few or at least the first date. Like I will literally just stop talking to someone if like it takes too long for them to like initiate something. Because like what am I wasting my time with? So I don't know. I agree with that. And I think like the things that you look for in the person definitely change as well. And I think too, like we're all making, pretty good money. So it's like, if it's not worth it, you're not about to come out of like this singleness versus anybody,
Right.
so those are really important things to be looking for at the beginning.
Yeah. I feel like,
and it's so funny because you always talking about like happy hour dates being adult dates, and literally I've been at happy hour since my freshman year of college.
Right.
Like that was such a DC Howard thing to do. Go to happy hour, like
that was not
me and my little fake ID at
Happy
the
hour was
door.
lit.
Like yes, like this is where I'm gonna meet people.
Damn.
So for me, it was just like I need
That's the
a
best place
sit
to meet
down
people.
place. Like I don't need the drinks, the fast talking, everybody else in the background. Like I need to actually focus.
That's solid. I think
Intimacy.
that's solid for sure. I think that matters on where you went to college too. I feel like that plays a factor in, like, obviously it's like one of those things where you're raised plays a factor in who you are and who you look for. I think where you went to college at is another thing on what is your mindset of a date and how a date works based on where you went to college, whether it's HBCU, big PWI, in the city, in the country, you know what I mean? Different stuff like that too. But I feel like y'all are agreeing with the whole dating first and talking second, because y'all all were like, yo, like I want to text this person for a week and then I want to go on a date.
It's just what you call it though, because I call that texting, but you call that dating.
We call it. Yeah, we call it different.
Okay, so y'all call it hanging out. Y'all call it hanging out.
No, Chris, I think you're literally going by the Webster definition.
What is it? We have to go by Webster. They are literally the reason.
No, you have to go by how they apply to this generation, because they've taken these words and like created.
That's how we get lost in the sauce, man. We keep changing the definition of something that's already been written. That's how you get lost.
Well, give us the guidance, because you're the one in the relationship, right? So obviously help us out, because 3 dates. I think total we have about 10 or something like that. So like, you can help us out.
I think y'all are doing it the right way. I didn't put on my Dr. Phil hat. Damn, I should have got a hat for this. But I think y'all are doing it correctly. I think the whole texting somebody and then wanting to see them is the right move. I think I did what y'all did, like y'all were saying. It's just that I called it a date. That's really all it is, Jack. Y'all called it hanging out. I called happy hour a date, and then like
I would call it a date, Chris, but I wouldn't. I don't know.
I guess would you go on multiple dates with a guy before considering the fact that y'all are talking?
If you ask me out, if you ask me out to just like go out with you, I guess I already assume it's a date. Like I would call it a date.
Okay, solid.
But I
wouldn't. A date, but we're not dating.
We're not dating.
But if you go on multiple dates,
now we're talking.
I literally will tell people I'm communicating with this person. Like I don't even call it talking sometimes.
Yeah, but because for real, it's the same process. You can call what you want, but it's the same process.
Yeah, exactly. It's just different, same thing, different names. I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we are about to have our last question of the section. And this one is close to my heart because I feel very strongly about it. But how do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about ghosting? Like, I think it's a little bit easier to do when you don't know the person or you don't have like friends of friends. But like, is it right or wrong? And then if not, how do y'all end like situationships? If you're just like, we not really dating, we not exclusive, but like she low key like stepped on my shoes and that made me mad because Chris has nice shoes. He has Balenciagas. Like, you trying to drop?
Okay, girl, don't get him robbed
in his pocket.
They're all fake. I have all fake stuff.
Chris,
y'all, he's lying.
Oh my gosh!
But we were 19. Chris had Gucci flip flops.
Oh man, no! Go back to the question.
Girl, don't get him dragged.
He
does live in New York.
Maybe on Canal Street.
I'm gonna have to be out here defending Chris because you putting all his business out here. People gonna be trying to jack him on the
Okay,
You
street.
guys are living in Colorado now.
How do y'all feel about ghosting? Do y'all do it? Do you get mad when people do it to you?
Should we go first or should y'all go first?
Y'all go first.
I'm gonna start
first.
Okay.
Yeah, Simone, you got it.
I'm gonna start this one off, okay, because I recently ghosted someone.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Lord.
I wouldn't even call it, I don't know what to call it, but like I was in like a long-term situationship, I guess. It's been like a while. And like I had expressed what I needed to be better. And it literally didn't get better. It got worse, like pretty immediately. And I gave it like, you know, a couple weeks. And then I was just like, okay, this is enough. And I stopped responding. And like we literally haven't spoken since. So that was like my most recent case of ghosting. But I felt like for me, and I feel like this applies to like dating sometimes, is like, for one, if you're not giving me what I need, I don't really feel like I owe you an explanation unless you're like my actual boyfriend. Like if I'm not in a relationship with you, I don't really feel like I owe you anything. And that's probably a really terrible take. But I feel like in this most recent situation, I felt like I had already expressed what I wanted and like it wasn't changing. And so I just felt like, why am I begging for more? I was like, I'm just done. So I just stopped responding. And it was for my own like, you know, mental state or whatever. Cause I'm like, I'm not going to be out here begging someone to like treat me how I should be treated. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just like, I'm done. I don't know. I didn't feel bad about ghosting, but I'm sure some people who have been ghosted by someone pretty, you know, that they were interested in might be pretty upset about that.
I think I'll let Chris go, but I think in adultness, people should not ghost. And I saw a really good post about ghosting and basically comparing it to like being kind of violent. Like if you thought like, let's say like, I saw Chris just laughed. Josh just laughed. But it's like, okay, like example, like it was a friend, right? Like me and Jordan, or like any of one of y'all, and y'all did something to me, and I was mad about it, but I never said anything, or I was just like, just not feeling friendship anymore. And I saw y'all out and about, and I just completely ignored your presence, and just like, you know, you were like, "Hey, Elise," and I just kept walking. You'll be like, you would be like offended, right? And so if it was. That's kind of what ghosting is. Like it's over text, so it's easier. But I recently ghosted someone like a month or two ago, just because like again, like I didn't feel like talking to multiple people, and I didn't want to drag him along. And I ghosted him, and then I saw like that post like really adding me, and I texted him and was like, "Hey, listen, like that was really messed up of me. Like it was really short because we barely talked, but I was like, hey." That was messed up to me. Like I shouldn't have ghosted. Like I should like let you know what was up and how I wasn't interested in like anything right now.
And he should have been like, "Who this?"
No, what he did was like, I don't know, y'all listen to our other episode, but he was like, "Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. I hope you get your ad-libs together for your next rap song." I remember on the episode. And like I know that message.
He ain't listen for real. I don't know what you're asking him for real.
I always listen. I listen.
But I was like, yo, but I felt better because I was like, you know what? If that was me, and even like if we had a couple conversations, like, and it was like I knew you were interested in me, and I just like completely stopped responding. Like that's, I feel like communicate. Like it's a text, it's a quick 2-sentence text. That's all.
But don't you think if you address the issue though, like you've acknowledged whatever it is and it doesn't change, do you feel like you still owe somebody something?
Me, it depends.
It's a sentence. I think it's a sentence saying, hey, like I just think this is like not working out, like this is not giving me what I need, and I wish you all the best, period. And then you can like not respond. But I think being clear and that this is like done is very adult and important.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's a very mature approach. I don't think that I'm necessarily there yet, in the sense of if you're not doing it for me, I'm probably just like, I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you, but if it doesn't change, I'm not going to keep, I guess, I don't feel like I owe you that. And I think I owe it. I think it's worse. I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone and you're very serious with someone, absolutely. But like in this talking stage that we're talking about, I just feel like, I mean, I get that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not begging them. It's just literally being clear that it's done. Like you ask once, they don't do it, and then you're just like, I'm through.
Yeah.
But guys, what do you guys think about it?
I don't know. For me, it kind of depends on like how long I've known this person, what my relationship is with this person, and like, because like if we've been kicking it for a minute, I'm not just gonna ghost you. Like, cause I feel like I respect you enough to give you an explanation of what's going on. But like Simone said, like if we in this early talking phase or whatever, that could potentially be a different, you know what I'm saying, a different opinion on the whole ghosting subject. But at the same time, like for example, I kind of went through a similar situation like this, right? So I was talking to this one girl recently, right? And I was going through like some things with my job, like my original job, my offer had got taken away, so it was a lot going on. So I didn't respond to this girl for like 2 days or whatever, right? But when I responded to her, I was telling her like, okay, my fault, I had a lot going on, trying to pick up conversation, whatever. But the girl didn't respond for like 4 days, and then wanted to pick up the conversation like everything was just, you know what I'm saying, peaches and cream. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not peaches and like. So at that, but you can tell where energy changes.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. You feel what I'm saying? So
exactly.
At the same time, knowing the type of person I am, it's like, okay, I mean, I understand it, I respect it, whatever. Like energy change. So I'm about to take a step back at the same time. So we kind of ghosted each other in that sense, but we kind of had a mutual understanding without anything being said. That's like,
really,
okay,
how'd that work?
Yeah, because once that energy, you can feel
that's real life.
When that energy changes, or if you address the situation and they're like, "Oh, I hear you," and then they do it again, like, what do I? I don't owe you nothing.
Okay,
but that we were early in the talking stage. Like we've been talking maybe for a couple of weeks. You feel what I'm saying? But if it was like someone I was kicking it with for like a couple of months, or we got to really know each other, like I'm not just gonna ghost you because I have a respect for you. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm about to let you know, like this. You know what I'm saying? This not working right now, but
definitely that energy is.
It's not gonna be a ghosting. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's a respect thing after a certain time frame.
Well, I disagree again, but Chris, your answer, please. Oh, wait.
I think I always agree with you, Elise, of course.
You,
but
Chris.
I think, but I don't know if I could do that in this scenario.
Good? Like,
wait, no. He said he don't know if he can do that.
I don't know if I could do this in that scenario.
I don't think anybody's agreeing with Elise right now.
Chris.
Yeah, I kind of agree with.
We were friends
we
first.
Actually, we did. I feel like I kind of agree with everybody. I think what Josh was saying was really important. That like it depends on the time frame. Like if you're talking to somebody for a few weeks, I feel like it shouldn't even be considered ghosting if I don't even know your last name. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a actual, I guess, time frame in place, number one. And then I think the whole mutual ghosting situation is such a common thing. And I think it's just when stuff fizzles out. You know what I mean? Like if energy change, like Simone said, or if like you can feel when somebody's energy changes, like even through text. Like I think that's super valid for sure. So like if somebody changes their energy, and then you stop texting them, I feel like that shouldn't be considered ghosting, right? Because they brought it upon themselves. Yes. You know what I mean? Like if they reach out to you, and they're like, "Yo, what's up?" Then of course explain it, have the conversation. But I think it should really only be called ghosting if like you've been talking to somebody or dating somebody, whatever terms y'all like to use, for like over, I don't know, like 7 or 8 months or whatever, and then out of nowhere it happens. I feel like that's when it's really disrespectful, and that's when it really is hurtful, and really shouldn't happen because this person has spent that amount of time investing themselves into you and kind of opening it up to you, and then they don't even feel the energy shift. They just text you 1 or 2 days and you don't respond, but they see you like posting stories, you know, tweeting and stuff like that, you know. So I think that's when it is really hurtful. So I kind of agree with everybody. But I think overall ghosting is not right. But I think the term ghosting needs to be more defined by Webster if they could, but they can't.
And it should include foreshadowing. If there's foreshadowing, like things are headed down a path, it's not really ghosting.
Yeah, it can't be considered ghosting. It has to be another term. It has to be another term. Yeah, maybe we should write a dictionary.
But for me, like, I've definitely been like the ghoster.
Evil.
I think we've all ghosted. I think everybody besides Elise.
I do it before. Everybody comes to me. I'm an Aquarius, so
we in Aquarius too, Jordan.
Yes, Jordan. Quick, just with the quickness,
quickness.
I don't have time.
I am quick to be like, yeah, you know, blocked. But then,
y'all quickness don't give nobody a chance.
Yeah, don't start with that zodiac.
Y'all don't know what type of trice we done dealt with, so
you gotta get somebody.
That speaks to y'all's type there. Hello?
So recently,
Hello?
I've been trying to do better, right? You know, I'm like, I'm a grown person. You know, I have to respect other people's feelings and stuff. I'm trying to grow, and then I do that, and then people ghost me, and then I'm just like, wow, this kind of hurts. Is this karma? Like, but I know I'm wrong for it, so I'm not going to sit up here and act like, yeah, like I ghost, but like I know it's kind of like a shitty situation sometimes, but it's just like, for me, if I argued your best position in my head and you didn't win, like, what do we have to talk about? Especially if it ended like a whole thing. Like, if
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was
if you
valid.
don't
I
have
think
a
that's
point in
valid.
my
Yeah.
head, like, what do we have to speak about? Because you're just gonna be making me mad.
Right.
So
For your own mental.
like,
No, yeah, I definitely agree. You have to do that for your own like mental health sometimes, honestly. Like sometimes I truly feel like it's valid. We can disagree or we can agree to disagree here on
To
this
disagree.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the most adult statement ever.
But I really want to say I appreciate you guys coming on and helping us with this discussion. I feel like it's been very interesting and pretty fun, honestly. Like you guys are very
It's been great.
fascinating people.
I love it here.
We wanted to squeeze in one quick listener letter while we have the guys here. So everyone stay tuned.
As we are approaching month infinity of staying in the house, we've really been enjoying using the Anchor app to record our podcasts. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And let me tell you why. Number one, it's free. We don't got money for that. We are all recent grads out here. Times are rough. Also, there's free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Apple, Spotify, many more platforms as well. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Get you some coins for Uber Eats. That's what I usually use my money to, but it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. To get started, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get your podcast on and poppin'.
Hey guys, so today's listener letter is from Mimi, and she says, I went on my first date.
Was it Mimi the last one? Think of a new name.
So today's...
What, she signed the letter?
I was like, wait, are y'all going to change this person?
No, the letters are anonymous. So we make the names up as we go.
Got it.
I'm not cutting that out, so just letting you know. So today's listener letter, we're going to change her name, is Lakeisha. And she says, I went on my... I'm trying to say it. Okay, keep your laughs to yourself.
All
okay,
right,
so Lakeisha says, I went on my first date last week since the pandemic began. We met on Hinge and had been having some of the best conversations I've had in a while. We started talking at the end of June and finally decided to go on an in-person date. And he does not look like his pictures. From what I saw his profile, I had created what I imagined he'd be like in person, but they're just not matching up. The pictures might be a couple years old, and I'm worried that I might not be attracted to him. Would love advice on this, as well as advice on dating during a pandemic. Sis, you need to call Neil. What's his name? Is it Neil?
Who's Neil?
From Catfish?
Oh, him?
What, is that his name?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know their names, but I know the show, obviously.
Okay, well, that joke didn't work.
I'll start with my response first, so y'all can do y'all's college answers, what have you. She need to move on. You don't want to be dating no one you don't think is cute. You want to be kissing that? No. How you going? I'm sure your mom gonna make fun of you when you go home with him. Don't do that.
My mom would.
Also, because don't do that. Because I read Shan Moody. You know what I'm talking about, that relationship expert?
Yeah.
She said, if you're not attracted to the person, there's no future. And I agree. So y'all can go on with y'all's correct answers that y'all think are correct.
Just think about what you
like
gotta
that
turn
another
over to in the
episode.
morning. You ain't trying to wake up in the morning and look at nobody that you're not attracted to. Then you just gonna have feelings of disdain and resentment that you done married this man that you're not even attracted to, sis. Let it go. You're gonna be mad. And then your kids gonna come out looking a certain way and you're gonna be like, yeah, that's what, just looking like your daddy. I done heard people say that before, okay? And
attraction is the main thing for y'all?
No, it's not the main
right
thing.
Like y'all sound like guys.
I feel like
you don't think attraction
but as
can
a guy,
grow
like
over
you'd be surprised. Like the most attractive women have the most stuff going on. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, attraction gonna bring me to you, but it's not gonna keep me there.
Attraction is not 100% the only thing. I feel like, honestly, I be dating medium ugly, so that's not even really something to say there, to be quite honest. But it's like, at the same time, you do have to wake up to that person. So you at least need to be attracted. We're not saying
you need to be attracted to that person,
but you need to be attracted to them. And then also, like Elise said, my mama would make fun of me. Like, she has honestly called my past people. Like, she has said, like, oh, you thought they were attractive? Like, she has really tried to play me. So she would do that. And I don't want that either. Like, who wants to bring somebody home all the time and hear their mama joking on their man? Like, that's not fun.
Well,
you gotta say
I
you
can't
want
confirm
somebody
because I went to Simone's house and she was like, "Oh, I don't know you," and I'm like, "I've met you before."
She don't have no memory, girl. It's not a good one.
You want somebody who's easy on the eyes.
Yeah,
I think that's
easy
what,
on
that's
the
what
eyes.
you want. Yeah, easy on the eyes. I think
I agree
attraction
with that. I agree with that.
It's like such a large
attracted
statement. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the whole beauty's in the eye of the beholder situation. You know what I mean? I definitely think attraction can wait. No, it is not. That's false.
My eyes can work too for y'all girlfriends as well. So I can see how they look as well. So no, it's not beauty. Some people, okay, y'all get a good advice.
But that statement means like I may think
as long
she's
as you're
beautiful.
attracted, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't gotta think you ain't going to bed with her. You know what I mean? As long as I do, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? That's what I meant by that statement. But I think attraction can evolve over time. That's all I was gonna say. I think you can become more attracted to a person as time goes on, as you're getting to know them and stuff like that.
And plus, on top of that, looks fade. So
they do.
Yeah, people get old. Even though black don't crack, people get old.
Right, because a lot of y'all,
make sure you don't.
A lot of y'all during pandemic couldn't get haircuts, and we really saw the truth.
I'm about to get a haircut.
A lot of
tomorrow.
people that was on this Zoom right now, they was looking a little
rough.
Bro, I was ready to get arrested. I was ready to get arrested to get a haircut.
They was probably wearing black Air Forces and everything.
I already had the mask on too.
I was about to say, like, people have to do what they got to do. Their bodies just have to survive. I don't know, maybe it was like he put on a couple of pounds during the pandemic, because I feel like I look like a completely different person from when I started the pandemic, just because like I was literally on my feet for almost 45 hours a week. So now that I don't move at all, it's looking a little heavy over here. But I mean, like, you just have to do what you got to do. I mean,
but what is the advice?
So if that's the reason why, I would say don't judge him.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because some of us, have gained a little weight.
I feel like it's a double standard.
I also don't think she mentioned weight gain at all. I think she just said she wasn't attracted. So a little weight gain.
She said a couple years old. So he's still the same person.
I'm just saying a little weight gain. Like some people like teddy bears. That's not a big deal. But like, are you?
But maybe she didn't.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't expecting a teddy bear. Maybe she wasn't expecting that. She was expecting.
Catfish her? She didn't see his picture before.
She said a couple years old. The pictures were him, but not.
That's why you need to do your research. You see, Elise, you need to find an Instagram, a Twitter account, and find some recent pictures. That is important.
But see, I haven't even.
Dang, Lakeisha.
Somebody tagged him.
You think it'd be different if a guy said this?
Wait, I just heard Chris.
Wait,
no.
1 sec. Wait. Can we give Lakeisha some advice?
Wait, can I tell Lakeisha to just date multiple people? That's all.
Yeah. Wait, but Lakeisha also
the dating multiple people don't work for me. Like, you can't date multiple people.
She asked about dating during the pandemic.
Yeah. So dating during pandemic, what do y'all suggest or don't suggest?
I honestly have not. I mean, I was probably entertaining someone at the beginning, which led to my downfall, essentially. But, I wouldn't. I mean, I say you should get a little cuddle buddy for the fall. I think that actually is important. So you need to secure one now because you might be a little lonely. I actually really would support that idea, but
I'm gonna put an ad out. for my fall bay because I love some fall, as we all know. I love some pumpkin carving. I need a fall bay. If you're on this call, hit my line out. I'll give Simone's phone number out, but not mine.
There is no pumpkin carving during the pandemic. Where
They
are you
better
going?
That's my whole thing.
They better be driving around.
First of all,
I think
Chris.
Oh, that's true though. Elise, shoot your shot because Chris and Josh about to bring you some new followers. Okay, so
wait,
y'all need to,
for sure.
my
in
name.
addition to your promotion, post a picture of her face.
Can y'all
with
be
her phone
quiet so I
number.
can promote myself? Hi, I'm Elise. I'm 5 foot tall. I love fall.
That wasn't a good start.
Okay, so we have to answer Josh's question. I don't think any of us really done dated during the pandemic.
I
So
got you, Elise. I got you.
But I don't personally think there's a double standard because I feel like you are attracted to who you're attracted to. Like, and if you're not attracted to that person for whatever reason, okay, maybe you think it's superficial, but I'm not about to tell you that your reason for not being attracted to someone is like necessarily wrong. I might try to get you to think more, depth and like, get a little deeper in there in terms of their personality. But if you're not attracted,
I feel like guys get killed for
Josh,
speaking
though.
on the physical appearances of women.
That's true.
I think I would consider it. Maybe it's not a double standard, but maybe some girls have the mindset Simone has. But I think society overall has the mindset that we have. It's like, if you speak on a girl's appearance, it's automatic. Why are you doing this? Why are you bringing this up? And stuff like that, where girls can do it and be like, and all under the comments like, yeah, girl, he ugly. I don't even know why you went out on a date with him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like, and get mad, like, but yeah,
I think that's fair. I don't think
maybe, but society, I think society deemed it a double standard. I mean, just like every other double standard there is, society.
I'm about to say, there's a lot of double standards.
I mean, as long as your reason is not, as long as your reason is not like
have a whole podcast about that.
As long as it's not like colorist in nature or something like that, I'm like, be attracted to who you want to. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But like going back to like dating during the pandemic, like first of all, I'm scary, so I'm not gonna meet up with a person where I don't know where they've been at.
If they got the virus,
that's
take
real.
my mask
that's
off
real.
to talk to them.
That's real.
And like sit in like a random person. Like I'm not doing that. Like. And then, like, okay, so story time. My ex went to New York in the middle of, like, when it was, like, the epicenter of, like, the coronavirus for no reason. And I was just like, oh, you can't see me? Like, if you're going to see me, we're only going to be on FaceTime, like, we can have a FaceTime date or a Netflix date or whatever. And, we can order Uber Eats. I'm trying to make it still interesting, regardless to say. He never did that. So it was just like, I'm not going to spend my time doing this. Like, I'm trying to be creative and, like, find out other ways to do this. But, like, no, like, I'm not going to be meeting up with people who literally risk their life for no reason. Like, just going outside just because, I only go to the grocery store. So for me to be meeting up with you and you just doing everything under the sun, it's just, no, I'm not doing that. So I haven't met with anybody. First of all, I'm healing, but like still like the dating aspect of in the pandemic, like I can't be outside with nobody I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, so I haven't been on any new dates in the pandemic. But my friends who have come back to the city, DC is where I live, have started socially distanced dating. And I'm terrified for them. But I also understand that people like need contact, right? And so my friends, from what I've heard, have like gone on like picnic dates, on like monument dates. Low-key, I'm a little terrified, but I would say like Keisha, like that's things that I've heard people doing. They have done like stuff that's always been outside, because people, I think when you're young and you're like in big cities and you're maybe living with not your friends, you kind of want to kind of get back into it in some way or form.
I agree. I mean, if you're gonna get booed up during the quarantine, at least try and make sure it's someone who's respecting the quarantine like safety measures. Try to get someone who's gonna wear a mask and is not gonna be around a ton of people.
That's hard though, because
I was about to say I kind of made that mistake at the beginning, but
they're like Tinder dates and like Hinge dates that they're going on dates. Like they don't know these people, and it's like
But I mean, if it's
time,
outside and kind of socially distanced, I feel like that's the safest way to do so. So if you're gonna do it that way. Don't be letting somebody in your house. No Netflix and chilling out here. We're gonna do monuments and sit.
6 feet apart.
Yeah, valid. I guess. I mean, I think for the whole fall buddy situation y'all were talking about, I think you guys should find some candidates now. That way you all can get tested because your results won't be in until 500 weeks anyway.
Chris?
So you should definitely try to get it now. That way you have it at least by November, and you guys can have all your, your fall buddies and all of that good stuff. That's all.
Chris,
But that's the only advice I have.
Chris, you said you guys need to find it. As in, why can't you find Simone and I our fall bays? That's what you should.
Yeah, because I feel like
we can also include Jordan.
Yeah, because I truly feel like Elise and I, specifically, and Jordan, right? Like, I say Elise and I first because y'all have known us longer, but it really shouldn't be the situation for us. Like, our guy friends supposed to be like, oh yeah, like, here, we have this person. What are y'all doing? Y'all are really not fulfilling your roles right now, right? Okay, so y'all need to do better.
So if you guys can text me and Josh the type of guy you're looking for, if you can build a guy.
This before.
What?
But I'm pretty sure stuff has evolved over time. I'm pretty sure your interests have evolved, your types have evolved.
Chris,
and stuff
I just
want to
say, don't listen to Chris, y'all. He lives in my city. I done told him before. He's slacking. He ain't gonna do it. Okay.
I am gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Whatever.
I'll make the boy an apple pie. Let him know. And I like caramel apples, and I like dark liquor. So I will probably.
So first of all, Elise, apple pie from scratch is literally the price of a date. So,
and on that note,
you might get a McDonald's apple pie.
On that note, again, wow, this was a great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Lakeisha, we hope you figure that situation out. But if you're not attracted to this at all, and you don't see that attraction going, you might want to let that go, in all honesty. I hope the guys provided everyone a unique perspective. I feel like these are the least, F-boy type of guys. So they might not have been able to get into the mind of those types, right? But
very true.
I think this was a good episode and provided a pretty well-rounded view. So thank you guys for joining us. And
thank you.
This is it
for having us.
We've been Entangled Part 2. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.
And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for your continued support. Follow us on our social media at Kinda Adulting Pod, and you can anonymously send in your listener letters at tinyurl.com/KA letters. See you next Monday at 12.